What is up, everybody? Luke Film Boss here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Now, Oppenheimer is a pretty fantastic movie, and it's also kind of interesting. It's a R-rated, 3-hour-long historical drama directed by Christopher Nolan, who typically does PG-13 movies. Like, this is the first R-rated film from Nolan, I think, since Insomnia. And Insomnia was his second film. That was almost 20, if not 20 years ago that he made that film. So it's been about 20 years since Nolan directed an R-rated film. And they're very rare for Nolan to make. But due to the historical subject matter here and the fact that it kind of fits in with the historical aspects of the character of Oppenheimer, I think it kind of gets a little bit of a pass for the rating. But definitely, it's not a movie you should be taking anybody under the age of 18 to. It's definitely for mature, adult audience. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's definitely a solid film. Like, it takes the historical aspects, and I don't know how much it might dramatize it, but I think it's probably pretty spot on. I honestly went into this movie to learn more about Oppenheimer and the making of the atomic bomb, so I don't know a whole lot of the history, so I can't really compare the movie to actual historical events. But what I do know is that the movie is extremely well made. The cinematography is really good. The sound, which is something that Nolan had a problem with in Tenet, the sound mixing is pretty good in this movie. There's only one scene out of the whole movie that I thought just was like pretty bad. Like the scene itself is really good. The sound is like, you got the music in the background starting to elevate for dramatic effect, and then you can barely understand what the people, like what the political dude is arguing with Oppenheimer about, and they're both yelling, and so the words get muddled, and I was able to understand it enough to understand like what was going on. But it was like probably the worst scene just because the sound was just really bad in that scene. But the rest of the movie was actually pretty good. So I was so happy. I'm like, yes, even a movie about a bomb exploding was able to mix the sound better than Tenet was. So good job. Tenet is a Nolan film that I just do not like. So, but Oppenheimer, the editing is really well done. I think that even for people with kind of short attention spans, even though Oppenheimer is kind of the slow 3-hour long kind of film that most people wouldn't want to see, I think that Oppenheimer is just so well edited that it keeps you interested on what's going on screen. And even when it gets slow, like, it only gets slow for like really emotional moments or really, interesting, intense moments, especially like the testing of the bomb. Like, really, really good stuff. This is definitely not a movie that you have to worry too much about spoilers because it's historical, but also like you don't want to give away like how the moments all felt exactly, because like this is just an experience. Like, you go for the experience. I'm just going to say, when this movie gets to the moments that you want it to get to, it is really good stuff. And then you have the character, like, there's character drama in this movie. And it doesn't really get good until closer to the end, but some of that ending, like, it's really good stuff. Now, this movie isn't, like, filmed or, like, edited in a chronological way. Like, there's different events that are taking place throughout the film. You have, like, the story of Oppenheimer himself and kind of, like, how he became, I think he's a physicist, how he became a physicist, and then him getting, like, pulled into the making of the atom bomb and all of that stuff. And then you have these other side stories that still take place in the same story, but they take place in a different point in time in Oppenheimer's life. But the movie, due to the fact that some of the scenes are shot in black and white, and in other scenes you get the gist, because Oppenheimer looks a lot older, you get the gist that those scenes are taking place in a different point in time than the actual main storyline is of the atom bomb and all of that. And so when the film cuts from one time point to another, you get the idea that you're watching a different point in time, if that makes sense. At least once the movie starts to get going and you realize how it's been filmed and like what's going on, because there's like three to four main different time periods that are kind of being portrayed one after the other, like back and forth. So it might be a little confusing at first, but I think as the movie goes on, you really get the hang of it, and it's just becomes enjoyable after that. So overall, Oppenheimer is just a really great film. I'd say as far as Nolan films, I'd put it behind some of his best stuff like Inception, The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and I would put it, and Memento. Definitely would put Memento above Oppenheimer, but I would put Oppenheimer slightly above films like The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, and Insomnia, while movies like Dunkirk and Tenet are just way down there. And as far as like The Prestige, I haven't seen like some of Nolan's other stuff like The Prestige, but overall, Oppenheimer is just solid, and it's definitely one of the biggest Oscar contenders of the year. It's just really well edited, filmed, and like written. Like the screenplay and how they like were able to keep track of all the different time periods and make them cohesively fit together was just pretty brilliant, honestly. So I'm Luke Film Boss, and I give Oppenheimer a 93% in quality and 88% in enjoyment for an overall score of 90.5%. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss. Bye.